afternoon. I'm Riza Diaz. This is One News Now. President Duterte is eyeing to take over hotels and convert them into isolation facilities as hospitals remain overwhelmed. Let's talk more about this with Philippine Hotel Owners Association President, Mr. Arthur Lopez, who's joining us over the phone. Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Riza.
Sir, first off, are you already in talks with your members regarding this, and how are they taking the President's pronouncement?
Yeah, of course, we're in talks with the members because, as you probably have heard me in other interviews that I was invited, that most of our hotels, we have 70 hotels in Metro Manila, okay? And all of them are committed to the OFWs through OWA. And in fact, OWA still needs more hotels. So I don't know how they're going to handle this if they'll take over. So they have to find also, the displaced OWA, the OFWs, if they take over. So we have no problem with that, I mean, if the government believes that it is necessary due to an emergency situation, we have no problem with that. It's really up to the government to decide what they want to do and how they will handle. Of course, our concern is the OWA or the OFWs.
Sir, with that being said, how will you be able to follow the order after you mentioned in your previous interview that all your hotel members are already fully booked?
Yeah, fully booked. Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Sir, we remember, of course, like what you said in your previous interviews, one of the many challenges is the hotels, as far as your members, are already fully booked. So how are we supposed to follow this order from the President, considering that situation?
That's not our call. That's the call of the President, okay? We're fully booked. So I'm sure they'll find alternate accommodation for the OFWs.
Mm-hmm. Sir, assuming that there are still hotels that can be converted into isolation centers, can you walk us through the procedure?
Well, right now, the hotels that I mentioned to you, the 70 hotels, okay, they're being occupied by OFWs, okay? If there are any hotels that they really want to take, so of course the procedure is they work out an arrangement with the owners, how they're going to do it. And of course, all the retrofitting have to be shouldered by government. Especially now, we don't have any money to do it, no. So retrofitting of the hotels to a hospital, I think will be very expensive. But I think the government is ready to do that.
Mm-hmm. Sir,
so we have no problem. We have no problem. We have no problem with that.
Thank you, sir. Sir, based on your understanding, do hotels have to surrender the operations altogether to the government? And how much will this impact the hotel workers?
Well, I think the President said before that they'll take over the operations as well, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he mention that?
We'll have to confirm that, sir. But just in case that in that situation where the government would really have to acquire the facility in itself.
Yeah, actually, that's nothing new, because we have another category. There's a feedback, so I'm having a hard time listening to you. There's a feedback when I speak.
It's okay, sir. We hear you very well.
You hear me very well?
Yes. One last question, sir.
No. What was your question? Let me answer that.
Sir, what will be it like for the hotel workers, just in case the government would say they would also take over the operations?
Well, they have to. It's up to the government to decide, or whoever they designate in government, whether they want to maintain the same staff of the hotel. Of course, they may need nurses and other medical people. So it's really up to government.
Sir, will hotel managements be forced to refund those current and reserved bookings already?
Sorry, if hotel management is what's your question? I can't understand you.
Well, because we understand that these hotels, sir, are fully booked. In the event that the government would take over, would the management be forced to refund those current and reserved bookings?
No, we don't accept any deposits at the moment because ang OWA pays us after the OFWs have checked out of the hotel. So wala kaming mga deposits. So there is no problem. There's no complication. We don't take deposits from OWA. OWA is the only one that's staying in our hotel. In our hotel. Now there are other hotels which they call leisure hotels, yung mga staycation. So, but you know they're not really heavily booked. But let me tell you, there is another category of hotels that are being used by MMDA. These are stringent hotels. Code name Oplan Kalinga. All the positives they book in these hotels. So that's already being done.
Sir Arthur, isang katanungan na lamang po. Some groups are proposing to divert flights of returning OFWs from Metro Manila to other areas like Cebu. What do you think about this idea? Makakatulong po ba ito?
Well, of course, makatulong. They divide they spread out the OFWs, no? They spread it out. So it really depends on their logistics because they stay in the hotel for a few days and then they're sent home to their provinces and barangays.
Well, thank you, sir, for your time and for your insights. That's Sir Arthur Lopez, President of Philippine Hotel Owners Association. Jeepney drivers, meanwhile, who are badly hit by COVID-19 pandemic are asking the government for cash assistance. This as most of them earn as low as 6 pesos per trip because of the passenger limit under the modified ECQ. Gerard De La Peña is joining us live from Pasig for more details. Gerard, how did the protest go?
Lisa, 1 year into the pandemic and jeepney drivers have not yet bounced back from their losses due to mobility restrictions. That's why they're asking the government for immediate cash assistance. Well, during the protest earlier today, jeepney drivers of the Pasig-Pateros route said they only earn around 6 pesos per trip since their passenger capacity have been reduced to 50% under the modified ECQ. They're now asking the government to grant them 10,000 pesos in cash aid as most of them did not receive a cent last year. In response, the LTFRB passed the buck to the Social Welfare Department, which is in charge of payouts. The LTFRB said they are only responsible for the master list of driver beneficiaries. The LTFRB added that they'd rather talk to groups instead of individual drivers regarding these concerns. For now, the regulator is asking drivers to sign up for the government service contracting program, which pays 11 pesos per kilometer regardless of the number of passengers. But it's easier said than done for drivers. As they said, they have to be consolidated first before joining the program. Lisa, the LTFRB is asking jeepney drivers to just accomplish the requirements for the service contracting program, which will run as long as there is budget under the Bayanihan 2 program. Lisa.
Thank you for that report. That was Gerard De La Peña reporting live from Pasig. Now, several health workers in Metro Manila staged a noise barrage over the government's delayed issuance of allowances and benefits. Jenny Dongon this time is reporting to us over the phone for more details. Jenny, what exactly were their sentiments?
Risa, health workers from different public hospitals across Metro Manila staged a noise barrage in their hospitals over their withheld allowances and benefits the government was supposed to give incentives under the Bayanihan 2 law. Many of them are still wearing their PPEs while airing their grievances to the government. They also brought kitchen utensils for their noise barrage, symbolic of what they call the government's nubbing of their concerns. Health workers also refuted Health Secretary Francisco Duque III's remark that they are regularly tested. Edgar Fernandez, a nursing aide in the National Center for Mental Health, said he was only tested once since the start of the pandemic more than a year ago. Various healthcare unions also wrote a letter to the president to seek a dialogue since they think that the DOH is not doing its part. The DOH, for its part, said it has released 2.1 billion pesos worth of special risk allowance and active hazard duty pay. This also includes meals, transportation, and insurance. The agency, however, is yet to announce the status of the issuance of performance bonuses. Risa.
Thank you very much, Jenny Dongon, reporting to us live. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.